fast-moving developments in the case of the Georgia man shot to death while running through a neighborhood. We hear from the man who recorded that now infamous video.
Nature lovers rejoice. National and local parks are now officially back open.
A chilly spring and breezy like Monday will give way to summer by the end of the week. I'll show you our big warm-up in store straight ahead.
This is CBS 46 News at noon. Getting results.
Good Monday afternoon, everyone. I'm Karen Greer. Thank you so much for joining us. We are learning a lot of new information in the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery, the unarmed black man shot to death near Brunswick, Georgia, while running through a neighborhood. CBS News has confirmed yet another new prosecutor is taking over in the case. Our Rebecca Schramm begins our live stream coverage from GBI headquarters. Good afternoon, Rebecca.
Good afternoon, Karen. CBS News now reporting that a fourth prosecutor is now taking over the case. Joyette Holmes is the district attorney in Cobb County. She is a Republican who was appointed to the job last year by Governor Brian Kemp to take the place of Vic Reynolds, who he named as director of the GBI. This news comes as we're hearing for the first time from a key player in the case. We now know the identity of the man who recorded the video now seen around the world showing Ahmaud Arbery running down a residential street and getting into a deadly confrontation with a man with a shotgun. William Roddy Bryan says he was simply a witness.
I had nothing to do with it. I'm trying to get my life back to normal, and it's been smeared for the last week. I was told I was a witness, and I'm not sure what I am.
The release of that video prompted outrage nationwide. The story of a 25-year-old unarmed black man who, according to his family, had gone out for a jog, confronted by father and son Greg and Travis McMichael, the elder, a retired investigator for the local district attorney's office. For 74 days, no charges were filed, but within 2 days of taking over the case, the GBI arrested both McMichaels, charging them with murder. Over the weekend, a new video surfaced that might shed some light on how the father and son will try to defend themselves. It was recorded minutes before the shooting. It shows a man who appears to be Ahmaud Arbery entering a home under construction. He leaves without removing anything from the site. GBI investigators reviewed the video before the arrests. As for the death threats for the man behind the video of the shooting itself,
Complete shock. I've never been involved in anything like that before.
and we just got a statement from Ben Crump, the attorney who represents the Arbery family, about the appointment of a special prosecutor. It says in part, "We implore District Attorney Joyette Holmes to be zealous in her search for justice as she works to hold all of those responsible for the unjustifiable execution of an unarmed young black man in broad daylight." At GBI headquarters, Rebecca Schramm, CBS 46 News.
I'm Megan Packer at the Live Desk. District attorneys from across the country are condemning the second prosecutor in this case who shared his opinion before recusing himself. Waycross Judicial Circuit DA George Barnhill laid out a defense of the McMichaels before he stepped down. A statement from the National District Attorneys Association says in part, quote, District Attorney Barnhill determined he had a conflict in pursuing the investigation into Mr. Arbery's death. At that point, his involvement should have ceased. Instead, District Attorney Barnhill wrote a letter which has now become public, in which he offered a gratuitous and detailed opinion regarding the hurdles to any prosecution of the individuals involved in the shooting of Mr. Arbery. The statement goes on to say these actions can have an unintended or intended ability to influence potential grand jurors or trial jurors, while also making the new special prosecutor's job to objectively seek the truth significantly more difficult. Arbery's mother had requested Barnhill step down because his son used to work with one of the suspects. At the Live Desk, I'm Megan Packer.
Megan, thank you so much. Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms tells me she's keeping Ahmaud Arbery's family in her prayers. The viral video of the 25-year-old being chased and gunned down by father and son duo Gregory and Travis McMichael, sparking national outrage, including the mayor. She says Arbery was murdered in cold blood and that watching the video is a constant reminder of the dangers her own three sons face.
It breaks my heart. This young man was murdered in cold blood. Just honestly and selfishly didn't want to watch the video because I'm mayor, but before that, I'm a mother. And I have 4 children, 3 of whom are African American boys. And each and every time I see something like this, I think about my children.
Now, the McMichaels are charged with murder. The GBI arrested this man, 20-year-old Rashawn Smith, in connection to terrorist acts. Officials say he is accused of threatening future protests related to Ahmaud Arbery. Right now, he's behind bars in Liberty County. That's near Savannah. The GBI says he created a Facebook user ID of an unwitting person to post a hoax threat. The GBI is also asking anyone with more information about this to contact them or Crime Stoppers.
Please know that I love you and that I will continue to lift up my voice for justice and work for justice so that Ahmaud's life will not be in vain.
It is the story making headlines around the world. Dr. Bernice King, one of the many people contributing to a heartfelt Mother's Day message presented to Wanda Cooper, the mother of Ahmaud Arbery, many in the video expressing their support for the family and calling for justice. CBS 46 is leading coverage on the shooting death of Ahmaud Arbery. Stay with us online and on air for the latest developments. You can also download our free CBS 46 streaming app to get any updates. Now to news about the coronavirus. Here are the latest COVID-19 numbers released by the Georgia Department of Public Health. There are 33,833 confirmed cases in the state. More than 6,000 people have been treated for the virus in area hospitals, and more than 1,400 have died from the virus. Happening now, hikers are hitting the trails at state parks for the very first time in weeks. National and local parks officially reopening today. Our Carolyn Ryan is at Kennesaw Mountain National Battlefield with the latest.
How many of you have tried to visit a national or local park in the last couple of weeks thinking they reopened when the shelter-in-place order was lifted, only to find this, a park closed sign? These signs, though, will be removed today because the parks are now officially back open.
When the gates opened 6:30 Monday morning,
Yay. We were all emailing each other.
Denise Nash was one of the first ones through.
Just the exercise and nature.
She and her hiking group are regulars at Kennesaw Mountain.
I've been doing this for 25 years.
They've been itching for it to reopen for weeks.
We're glad, yes. This is our main exercise.
Nearly 3 million people visit Kennesaw National Battlefield Park a year, which is why Chief Ranger Anthony Weinger says certain restrictions will remain in place.
2 of our smallest parking lots will remain closed, and our restroom facilities and visitor centers will remain closed. And if it's super crowded, we ask that everybody, please self-police and come back another time, or go to another area that's less crowded.
Cobb County has reopened the rest of its parks today as well.
I'm very excited to see that the parks are back open where people have excess time on their hands. This is a great time for people to be outside, exercising, improving their health, and actually helping their immune system.
But with coronavirus still in play, they too are proceeding with caution. Playgrounds and restrooms will stay closed. Organized athletic events not allowed. Social distancing is required, and indoor facilities will stay closed as well.
To reiterate, masks are not required, but social distancing is. Be sure to check your national or local park's website for additional guidelines before you go. Reporting in Kennesaw, Carolyn Ryan, CBS 46 News.
Thanks, Carolyn. Today you can get free coronavirus testing at the House of Hope, Atlanta. That's on Flat Shoals Parkway in Decatur. From 3 this afternoon until 7, pre-registration's required, but testing's open to anyone who's interested. We are making it easier to find a test site by you. For a map of all the available testing in Metro Atlanta, download our free CBS 46 streaming app. New at noon, Dunwoody police making an arrest in a murder that happened at a Dunwoody Village apartment home last week. 19-year-old Kaylawan Hawkins is charged with felony murder. He was arrested Friday and is in jail for the murder of 38-year-old Spencer Lavis Foster. Foster was found dead last Wednesday night. No word yet on how Foster died or a motive.
Why wouldn't they like us? Again with the pepper? What are you going to use all that pepper for?
Comedy acting legend Jerry Stiller has died at the age of 92. His son, actor Ben Stiller, posting to Twitter this morning confirming his father's death from natural causes, saying he was a great dad, grandfather, and dedicated husband and will be missed. Stiller had a long